Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to our videos.
We wanted to share, not an argument. Yeah, it was an argument.
Hello, hola, it's Yonny and Kayla. Hola, hello from the DR of Buffalo.
It was a conflict pattern that was happening every time we would have conflict with each other. And then it would lead to us not resolving the conflict. We would apologize and just continue on with our lives, but we wouldn't talk about it and address it and deal with it.
And when we got mad, then the same problem would appear, would come up again.
Until we went to the caves. So the first thing that would happen when we would have any sort of conflict was that you would avoid the topic. Like at the cave, I remember you saying, "Leave me in peace," and I was like, "But that's not peace."
No, that was not peace at all. I remember me saying, leave me in peace. Let it drop subject.
Yeah.
And that was not good. Because there was something there that we had to remove
Resolve.
to resolve.
And remove, yeah.
Okay, there I was total close. I closed myself. I didn't want to talk about that. I have many things in my head, especially assumption and
So that was the next thing I noticed was the assumptions that we were both making. We were both making different assumptions. But I noticed that at that moment, the situation that happened, which we'll explain in a minute, but you assumed I was jealous and you just wouldn't listen to what I was saying at all.
we learned many things. And one of the most important things that we learned that day was about the assumption. I had that problem.
We both did.
That is a really, really hard, a really difficult problem. That destroy your thought. You're thinking about other people.
It does.
That's what it was doing to me. And sometimes I do it when I don't realize it. Another thing it would be to deal with the garbage. I'm going to say that in a simple word. Well, I won't. She is going to.
I was waiting to hear you say it. There we were, just in the caves. The situation happened, and I was just looking at you, and I was saying, I feel like there's a giant pile of garbage in between us right now.
Which made me start thinking, and I was like,
So you said, just leave me in peace. And my response was, well, okay, you can go be in peace temporarily, but I'm still over here with this giant bag of garbage, and if you want to come back, sure, you can come back and pretend it's not there, but it's still going to be there, and sure, you can pretend it's not there, and then I can just hold my breath until I don't smell the bad smell anymore, but the garbage is still there, and that's totally what I felt like was happening.
it can't be more clear than that. It can't be more clear than that. Of course, the problem becomes in the garbage when you ignore it.
Once you ignore it, yeah.
Yeah, once you ignore it, it'll become in a pile of garbage that you need to get rid of.
Yeah, and what?
Yeah, something that else. If we put it in physically, to someone clean the garbage, they need to. Their hand is going to get dirty. If they wear gloves, their gloves will get dirty. I mean, they will get part of that smell, of the smell of the garbage, and that's how it is.
But
You
only
need
for a little bit.
Yeah, just for a little bit, and then you can wash it out. But the important thing is that at the end, the garbage won't be there, and everything will be clean. So that's how it is. Okay, it would hurt. It would. I mean, you would not want, because we didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to face it. I didn't want to clean it. I didn't want to touch it. to face it, to talk about it, to recognize that I'm having a problem right now, and it's coming from somewhere,
Yeah.
from inside me. It's coming from somewhere. So
Yeah, that reminds me of that show Hoarders. We watched one episode and we couldn't even watch the whole episode. Do you remember that? Where people where people live in a house of garbage, but in their mind they don't even see it. And I feel like that's what we do too. Sometimes, metaphorically.
that's
Like there's all this garbage all around us and we just ignore it.
yeah.
And so to me, I watched that show and I'm like, how could they just ignore the garbage? But then like we do the same thing too.
Yeah, we did the same thing with emotional
Yeah.
problems, situation that hurt. I know, they
Yeah.
hurt. But if you don't face it, if we don't face those situations, then it's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse. It's break our body, it break our mind, it break our happiness or peace or joy, everything. But we just don't realize it.
And we have to learn on our own how to handle it. We want to have actual peace, not the temporary peace that you said, like, oh, just leave me in peace. That's not actual peace.
No, that is ignoring the problems. That is ignoring the garbage.
Yeah. That was the first time that we were actually able to acknowledge that there was something in between us and have a conversation long enough to solve it, resolve it, talk about everything we wanted to talk about, and get through it and get rid of it.
Yeah, and we had to.
And the conversation we had to have, I feel like I cried.
I almost cried. I mean, that was the best talking.
I said my side of what happened. You said your
And
side
I
what
said
happened.
my side. Oh my gosh, I can remember that, and I feel.
So I said how when we went to the cave and we were by the boat, how you were talking to the woman.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know what you were saying, so it felt like you were just off talking to her the boat ride. And that didn't bother me. You talk to people and you talk to women all the time. I wasn't jealous. That by itself didn't bother me at all. It made me uncomfortable maybe because I didn't know what you were saying and I wasn't part of the conversation, but it wasn't I was mad, I wasn't jealous, like it was just weird for me. But then we went to the cave, we took all our pictures, and then when we were leaving, that's when you went up to the woman and like asked her something. But I didn't know what you said.
Oh yeah.
And so that's when I asked you, hey, what did you say to her?
Yeah, and I got mad.
And you got mad instantly in that moment.
Actually,
When I just asked you, hey, what did you say to her? Because I didn't know, I was curious. At that moment, I was just curious.
oh yes.
But then you got mad, and then it made me more uncomfortable and like suspicious, because like, why would you get mad about that?
Oh yeah, and I was not being aware in that moment of how I have to, because you know, I was not supposed to act like that. I cannot act like if I would be single.
Like without me, like I wasn't
Like with
even there.
yes, so that was not right. What I did there.
And again, maybe I could have said it differently. I wasn't telling you to stop talking to her. I wasn't telling you to stop talking to a woman. I wasn't talking, like, I was just expressing, like, hey, this made me really uncomfortable. What happened?
Yeah.
And it was weird to me to see, and I don't know.
And that was the best to do that. Okay.
Do what?
I'm sorry. I still feel like I'm sorry for the way I act.
But I don't think
Because-
you did anything wrong, really.
Yeah, because I was like, if I would be by myself, I was like talking normal
Yeah.
with that person, but I mean,
Without me.
without you, exactly.
Yeah.
And that was wrong.
But part of it is, too, that it was in Spanish, and I don't know enough Spanish yet to even be involved in the conversation. So that affected it also.
Yes.
And also, I am from the United States where people don't just go up to strangers that they don't know and talk to them.
We
So,
do
but
that
that's,
here.
yes, but that's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. It just was something I wasn't used to. I had never seen before. I wasn't expecting. It was, I don't know.
Yeah, and I was going to say that you did so good. and talk and admit what you were feeling and say what you were feeling.
Yeah.
Like that's how you're supposed to do. That's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do because
yeah.
if you would be in silence, if you stay in silence, you would have that question, and that might be at the end that could become in bothering you. That would start bothering you, and then if you would keep being in silence, it would be worse. You would it would be the jealousy. Eventually, it would become in a jealousy. So you immediately, before any other feeling comes, you cut it out. You asked me. I didn't, and you told me what you were feeling in that moment. And that is something. One of the things that I must appreciate is this: that you're honest. You don't hide any feeling, for more uncomfortable that it is. And that is something that I had never experienced in my life.
Well, I don't want to keep living like this.
Yeah, and I learned exactly.
I want to get rid of it.
Yes, and many books that I have read have said the same thing. You shouldn't keep any feeling against especially your spouse.
After that conversation, we were able to resolve any misunderstanding, any assumptions, and then we could enjoy the rest of our day. Because I feel like there were many trips that we've been on when we both just been silently frustrated.
I don't know why.
And then we don't even enjoy it.
Exactly. If we would just talk in the moment
and move on,
we would be enjoying it. That happened with another trip that
we went to La Romana. We went to the beach in La Romana, and you walked. You walked the whole beach angry, and you wouldn't hold my hand, and you walked the whole length of the beach, and then we finally got to the beach, and then we sat down and we resolved it, kind of. I think we had a conversation. And we resolved it, and I was laughing because I was like, you ruined the entire walk. That could have been this romantic walk on the beach, and you were just angry the whole time.
And then at the end I was like, what the heck did I do? I just waste my time. I wasted my time. I just wasted my time.
But then I get really sad. But I think I stay sad too long, and then I waste time being sad. I think I could shorten the time that I'm sad.
We both can shorten the time of our problems. I get mad and she cries.
We're still learning. We're still trying to figure out how to resolve our conflict in a better way. That's all.
That's it. I hope you enjoy our videos, and we have many other videos and many other coming. So peace out. Spouses or spouse?
You're saying the same thing. Spouse.
Spouse.
No. Spouse. Try it again.
Spouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing fine. So is your worried mind. Sit back and close your eyes. Yeah, this land is a paradise, and the people are so very nice. I'm happier than I've ever been in my whole